Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have Shyvana, fresh off some spicy buffs. Unfortunately not really playing around the bruiser style, 10% buff on the Q, both procs, and a 2-second shave off. So, you know, there is an AD ratio and you can use it more often, which should help with clears. But let's see how it does. The win rate in her statistics has gone up 2% just on day one. Obviously, that will, you know, normalize. We expect this. There's a blue ping on the minimap, so I'm kind of, yeah. The spoiler alert on the replays. Okay, so the Nautilus uses all and she dies. Now, we can blame this on the AFK. Top laner, not our fault. Not jungle div. Top gap. Yeah, so let's see how she actually does in this game. And all games are listed with match histories in the description, by the way. We're gonna have a nice gold swing. You know, a lot of times on this channel and in general, you know, the focus of jungling is what? To snowball, to control, to do everything we need to do as a jungler so that by 15 minutes, we're in control. The enemy jungler is crying, and we have the win condition in our hands. Whether it's us, whether it's someone else on our team, it doesn't really matter. However, in this game specifically, with things like Shyvana, Kayn, any farming kind of jungler, sometimes you might, especially against an Elise, have rough beginnings, just like this one. You have seen the runes on your screen now. Obviously, we are going AP. With a 10% bonus increase in AP ratios on a spell, you've got to try that out first, right? That's what they're buffing. So at least we'll start on the red. If she does Krugs Raptors, she's just wasting her time, though we get the spoiler, right? I'm going to start putting up a thing for you guys just to cover this, at least for coaching as well. So she goes for the Raptors. Now, this is an interesting clear from the Elise's perspective. Shyvana most likely now. Unfortunately, the cheese killed her, so sad stud. Anyway, she's probably going to 5-6 camp, all right? The Elise is doing what I love to do on Zyra, where you will go red Raptors. You can smite the big raptor, finish that off, and then go and do your blue and Grump, alright? Now, the Shyvana's got this ward here. Now, this is a fortuitous ward placed by the Fiora because, you know, if you're gonna, you know, give up first blood or forsake your jungler, then it's nice to ward. However, it does compromise a potential 2-minute 40 Elise gank, which, even though her clear was a little odd, it's still basically... It's so predictable. So I understand the need to kind of ward and help your jungler there, especially when you were late. But now you're doomed. You know, and Elise takes a lot of damage here. And the saving grace for this, which is very interesting pathing-wise, is where's Elise going to go? Now, she could hug the wall tightly, but I don't know if she escapes before the minion wave shows up. So we would see her go down. If that is the case, Aurelia has gone for this. Aurelia has gone for this purely because it was warded on the Raptor camp when the Shyvana was going by it. So she's looking for a late invade, anticipating, hey, you know what, Shyvana is going to do her red Krugs and then try and do that topside scuttle. Shyvana says, you know what, Elise is most likely looking to do that topside crab, a blue again. She probably did a red side and whatnot. So I'm going to go down and take the bottom side crab for a bit more of a easier time. The issue with that is Elise has two decisions. Do I go top side to blue and that scuttle, or do I go bottom side to make sure I get that the bottom crab, because I anticipate Shyvana's going topside. Basically, it's a coin flip at this stage, and she coin flips incorrectly. Because Camille decided to hang around with lower HP, and Fiora has that priority, it meant that Elise couldn't go directly there to take it, and if Shyvana was, you know, going to the top side as well, she'd be 2v1. This, however, plays very nice into the Shyvana's hands, and when you're against a more aggressive jungler, that's what you're looking for. We want to have this scenario where we can try and double crab them. Even if they're going to have more ganks, more kills, more assists, way more pressure, we need to get it like a 20-30 CS lead. We're basically setting up the long game where you can get level 16 while they're level 13. You have Dragon Soul Point, and you don't really lose too much while they're being active. So this is actually fine. Zed has a bit of prior here. He uses it to try and help out and get the crab for his teammate. How nice. Problem is we have huge rotations. Bard is coming, but Nautilus is already here. He did use his flash on the level 1 invade, though, so I think we're fine in that regard. Zed gets unnecessarily chunked. He should have used his shadow to get out, and now he gets spited and takes unnecessary damage. Shyvana, these aren't up yet, obviously, so she can go to a blue side, and then you can always look for opportunistic fights. We see the Elise going down to a blue side now. Second tier Grump spawn, blue, and Wolves are all available. Zed, because of the unnecessary damage he took, gets solo killed. The solo bolo. Shyvana's here. What you can do now is you can simply hold the top. You can hold the wave. Please note that if the Nautilus, hangs around, don't get hit. Oh, okay, well, you know. That is a very thick hitbox. Brad was in base, you know? So now, do we go down to the bottom side and take our second tier Grom spawn, or do we head to our Raptor camp, second spawn of that as well, and then potentially look to Krugs and Camille? That's what we're gonna do. Because, honestly, you can fill the time now and look to swap after you're first back to the Dragon, right? If you go down to your Grub now, you're gonna reset, you're gonna have Krugs and Raptors, and you're gonna be baited into going for those camps. We want to make sure we have Dragon control when Elise is looking to do some hyper-aggressive playstyles. Now, we saw the Elise on the on the blue side of the map, excuse me. So, this is very predictable. If Elise ganks you 240 and you have to flash TP, and we see the Elise doing blue side camps, 99.99% you are going to be ganked again. So, top laners, you know, it's doomed. You could counter gank it, as if you're another jungler. If you're a Viego or something that you feel confident in your skirmishing ability, please, counter gank it if you think you can 2v2 it. But as a farming jungler, scaling jungler, it's not always that easy. But as I was saying, before you go back to base, don't do the Grump in base, because now you're going to sequence down. And if you're against something else, they might do the Dragon while you do that. So it's better just to finish the top side while we know Elise isn't on it. Reset. If she does show, straight down, and we can secure that Dragon. Sorry for the weird South African there. I said straight down. Sometimes I realize that's not understandable to anyone. This is a good one because even if your bottom lane doesn't really have prio, there's nothing really they can do. You kind of want to take this crab, but if their bottom lane disappears, are they cheesing? Are they probing? Are they investigating? Obviously, if they're low on HP and mana, you can always tell that they're going back to base. So, I think here we could have hung around to secure the crab. Don't think we necessarily need to go up to our camps just yet, but it does give us 6, even if the crab would give you 6 as well. And as a farming jungler, what do we want to do when we reach 6? Gank. Use that ultimate. Don't keep farming. You're a farming jungler, you get 6, we gotta use it. We're 2 levels up on the Nautilus here. Bird can help us out with the Tunnel of Destiny. Hook blindly into the bush. Elise should be around, so you have to anticipate that Elise is here because the red buff spawned. Bird gets caught, we knock everyone back. Ziggs ult rotates, we have to flash out of it. Elise repels very nicely, but the huge crater E kind of does a lot of damage. Nautilus flashes. Really, his ult misses trying to hit the Bird, but Shyvana dies. So, is this a good use of the ult? Nah. I think I would have done the scuttle. Doofed this whole sequence. And maybe you could have looked to counter gank here as well if you're AP, but we kind of knew once the Nautilus shut up that the Elise would be there as well. Fiora's rotating from the top side. Is it warded? Yep, the Aurelia's doing a very good job. So, the reason why this was put as rank 1 Shyvana is because the guy was Challenger last year, finished it in Grandmaster. He has 350 games, even though it's a Master Elo game this year, taking things a little slower, as I think a few people are. There's no real contest. I mean, Agurin probably, but he hasn't played any Shyvana on the patch, so. Just throwing that out there, and most of the sites have it listed. Right, out of base, into the red. We see a fight in the mid lane. Bard rotates. Zed will die. No. Corrupting potion. Wait, what? The hitbox is just stupid. Shyvana ults over the wall here, hits her E, and we're able to get some shutdown gold back. At least nice counter gank. But that should be 2 for the red team. Can we get out here? Probably not. Alright. Come on, Brad. Oh, no, Brad. No. Sadness. So, as I said, you guys can look at the gold graphs in great detail in the description below, and you'll see the gold swing that this game has. Obviously, things are not going as peachy as we would enjoy. The joke there, I'm going to leave it alone. You could go topside to Herald. I think that is definitely something you could do, but you have to remember, are we winning this game? No. Is there really a Giga Fed? Yes. Will at least come out with a crap ton of gold? Yes. So it's best to basically say, you know what, I give the Herald, but at least most likely going to look to go top gank again, right? Top gank and Herald. We have no Raptors. We might as well sequence the bottom side. And if Elise does that, we can counter jungle or we can gank mid lane again. If she's perma pushing, please gank it. You know, every time your ult's up, just go. Bud, yeah, there you go. It's perfect. Bud doesn't care about his lane. The Ezreal is one of the best 2v1 lanes you can ever have, especially in the current state. And he's happy just relaxing. He can arcane shift the hook. But he's safe anyway, right? Now, we saw Elise gank topside. She's going to go get that Herald 99.99%. Let's go counter jungling. Investigations. Nothing. Yeah, we ping it away. It doesn't really matter. You're just looking to take what you can get. When you're behind, and there's something... I'm going to do like a jungle decision-making video on this, I think, for next week. The decisions you make when you're behind in terms of, alright, we can't fight right now. They're getting X. I need to get something of equal value, you know? You can't let them have it and then just farm your camps. That's why she goes looking for the counter jungling. That's why she goes looking for something to do that offsets this play. Now, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, this is a snowball effect of her own AFK-ness at the beginning. That's solid. Aurelia just queues through everything. Oh, it froze again. The replays are enjoying freezing this patch. Be right back. Well, that fix took a lot longer than it needed to. Actually, quite a few hours. I had to completely uninstall and reinstall. That's why the replays were perma-freezing. Anyway, so Aurelia dives top lane, and now the video will be going out a day later, just in case you're wondering. You're not, but I'm informing you. Shyvana has done a full sequence upside. There's not much we can do here. We're going to have a 5-plated Aurelia. As I just said, I believe I just said, it's been a while. Fiora kind of dug her own grave here, but they at least played around it perfectly. And now Shyvana is basically looking for how do we swing this gold advantage into our favor. Now, this is not one of them. This is a very... That's dumb. That whole sequence there is dumb. I mean, you know she's pushing up with a Herald. You know you've got the wave. You know it's going to be watered. Don't even begin to fight this. Maybe you're trying to buy time for your Fiora, but... Okay, can she turn this? I don't really... This is results-based if you're like, oh, it was a good decision because Fiora chased it down. And of course, it really wasn't, you know, the Aurelia who got fed by the Fiora, so that's, you know, it was the Camille. But Camille's on mid lane, they did a lane swap. At least gets the dragon. This is obviously going to happen, you know, if you waste time here and die, or have to go back to base, it gives the at least tempo control of the Drake, which is really what we want, right? That's what's going to keep us in the game, but nevertheless, nothing we can do. Camille does have TB availability, and Aurelia will be spawning. Fortunately, she doesn't have it. This hitbox, though, this... It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Shyvana should be able to rotate here. The repel out. Okay, ult. Okay. That's it. Let's watch that again because it was beautiful. This is what 10% bonus AP ratios does. I mean, they were going to die anyway. But this is what we're talking about. We're waiting for this moment. And if you are swooping side to side, again, that video on the main channel should be coming out Monday, Tuesday. And you're buying your time, and obviously that second dragon being given up here is our fault, but don't ignore your lanes. Make sure while you're farming, when they make those commitments to take those out of towers, you are there to rotate and punish because you are a stronger farmer, you're a stronger scaler. Now, because Elise is dead, because the bottom lane is dead, and because Camille is mid lane, chunked, and Aurelia is splitting top lane, don't go back to your wolves. Don't go back to this. You can move in and you can counter jungle. Just make sure you're scanning, you know, in and out. Here, I think, what's our gold amount? Now it's a lot, but out of base, please make sure you have control wards. This would be a great thing to kind of look to maybe perma sequence, but you have to play the odds. Let's actually have a look at the death timers. We finished the Krugs. Let's see. 7. I mean, we could easily go and look for the red. The pings are going through here, I mean, anticipating some kind of movement. But yeah, we could probably kite this out and get out. Sorry, kite this down and get out. That's a potential extra step counter jungling you could do that denies the Elise. But otherwise, you know, great rotational play, nice triple kill, and that's the moment we were waiting for. Unfortunately, a few of the deaths were silly. Clear your camps to you know, deny any further counter jungling. Obviously, probably going to get people moving up into here now. So, control wards are huge. Unfortunately, we don't have any spots available for them, but such is life. The Bard ult hits this cannon minion. Perfect. But Aurelia is low. That's a huge hitbox on the E. We know someone's going to be around in the area. But with the stopwatch usage to prevent any further Q spam... Whoa! Okay. It's a lot of damage. Zed is over here trying to kill the Elise in her jungle as well. Shyvana's now just poking with that maximum range nuke bomb. Ziggs ult doesn't really do anything. Another one hits. Dark Harvest stacks 8 now. And we hit 11. So, again, perfect. We're just looking to hold on. That gold lead was 3 to 4k. We had to give up a dragon, unfortunately. We had to lose a herald. Now we need to make sure we're making the right plays to come back into the game. What do? Firstly, keep doing what she's doing in terms of making sure your jungle is under control. Camille is splitting on the bottom lane. We can assume some kind of cut through here by the enemy, so we want to make sure we're looping. This is a dangerous path. It's good to have that warded, and it's good to have this warded, so you can see any sort of movements in and around your jungle. She smites this, and my problem here is it doesn't look like she's thinking about it. Camille doesn't look like she's thinking about it either. So if you get spotted, you must commit. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Now, because you show bottom lane, there's nothing really to take here. At least you have no idea at this point. Is she floating down here? Is she going topside? My instincts say she could be going topside at this point, so Fiora says maybe this is true. I'm going to move on down and ward. Very good. And that's it. It's not tough, right? And as it turns out, as you can see, she was actually on the bottom side of the map, but we didn't actually know. And that's something that you become a question mark when you're split pushing with no tower defense. Hence the name of the genre. You pushed up here with no background, no vision, could at least be there, and you do the same thing here. She could be bottom side. This annihilation by the Elise gives us a location. Now we can play from that. But I wouldn't worry too much about that happening to your laner. It was going to happen to either Fiora or to Zed. Take this crab if we can. Now, I'm curious about vision in the blue side of the jungle here. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But it is something we need to be thinking about. Goon's squad approaches the top lane. Fiora is able to solo kill the Aurelia. Uses the Tunnel of Destiny to escape, but Ziggs is waiting there with explosions of boom. And everyone dies. So, great. Zed is respawned going bottom side. Elise was bottom side. She's rotating up. Shyvana does have ult, but we're outnumbered at this stage, so don't commit to the fight. We want the next dragon. That's what we're looking to do. So, we can decompress waves, and we can, of course, scan and ward. Let's have a look to see what goes on. Haven't seen this far, but you can see, look at the shadowing. Look at the shadowing. There's an objective. We're scanning. Perfect. If they go anywhere they shouldn't, you assassinate and annihilate. Boom. Nice stopwatch. Camille ults. The repel should kill her anyway, maybe. It's kind of close. You can hit with your E now. Don't go back in because you're not a bruiser, Shyvana. Ezreal cleans up. Very nice. I like the play, though. You know, some people will say you need to be a bit more cautious, but I like those plays because you have total vision control, and honestly, if she doesn't have stopwatch or Zhonya's, she dies. And now your whole team can collapse and clean up. This is the thing that doesn't show up in your KDAs, by the way. Nice ult by the Aurelia. Very nice. This champion. Jeez. So Shyvana dies, but they'll get the Drake. This is great. So the trap set was good. The burst damage and the AoE with the Zed, good. And because of all this chunk that you did, you might not get the direct assist. You might not get the direct gold from the kills. But your team can clean up. And you know what? You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that in your elos, everyone is grouping up and ARAM fighting, and then, you know, they're not doing any sort of macro, and then you also complain that they're never there when you actually want to fight. So which one is it? It's almost like it comes down to both sort of game states, and you have to play around the team that you have and the team fight composition that you have no matter what elo. Play what's in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't play what's in your imagination. Your imagined slights by your team. Overall, this is good. We could head to the top side here, but the fact of the matter is that's bottom side, and they most likely have prior on that herald. So, in principle, I have no issue going bottom side here, because if Camille again overcommits to the split, you can kill her. So this is fine, provided there's no real objective. Now, fortunately, it looks like the Nautilus was getting way too handsy into the enemy jungle, and dies. So that's great. That's a nice hold. You could have argued that Shyvana should have gone here to defend this, and then, you know, fought over this. But if they don't feel that they've quite reached that level of power yet, and you know, Zed isn't there and it's just a bit of a too much downside for that play, I'm okay giving up that Herald as well. And then you can sort of deal with the split push, kill her, and then shove waves. And you'll see now, because she does that, right? Because she does that, and again, we should always check the bushes for wards, always walk across them. Now we have priority on, well, not priority, but we have experience leads. And you know, if you're split pushing side lane, it dies, and we clean up the kill and push the waves. Thanks. You know, like, you want to be the carry, be the carry. Okay. Let's go. World's tiniest violence for the Zed's death. We don't care. He fed the Aurelia. He must suffer. Now, Bard is caught out trying to ward. Once again, Nautilus is going way too deep. He finally actually hits his stasis of life. Aurelia is there, though. Here he is on the cooldown. And this is very important to rotate to this. But don't overcommit. Don't overcommit. Don't overcommit. You don't have Fiora yet. Okay, we go into the dragon form. Ezreal's damage is starting to come online. We can hit our nukes from maximum range. And the Night Harvester is actually very interesting here. The stopwatch is good. And everyone is peeling the Aurelia very nicely. Good. Brilliant. That was so messy, but well played. Target selection and team fighting. It doesn't matter what your class. Whether you're a mage, whether you're a fighter, you're a tank, you're an assassin, you're a marksman. Hitting what's in front of you more often than not is a good idea, unless you're you're the diver of the team. You know, if you need to protect your ADC, your backline from some kind of menace like an Aurelia, just do it. Because once she's dead, you guys can deal with the rest of the team. And as you saw, it's not even that far away from being a doomed fight. You know, it's a 4-for-3 overall. But Fiora gets pressure on the bottom side, and we can hold mid lane. No objective really to fight over. We're waiting for the next Drake. Baron is on the cards. There is a neutral crab, but everyone spawned. Don't face check it. Very good. Just head to the top side. There we go. Take the camps that you can get. Nice. Reset. What do we have? Cosmic Drive is completed. We have Ionia Boots. We have Zonias. And now we can build into our next itemization, which can be Void Stuff. It can be Death Cap if you're really far ahead. It can be whatever AP itemization you like. Banshee's Veil is not actually that bad of an idea against a Nautilus Elise comp. Especially if you're going to be face-checking bushes. You know? So keep that in mind. Drake is spawning. We want to make sure we are here for the fight. Fiora is fighting the Camille on the top side. And you know what's funny? As I said, I don't want to do results-based thinking for the Shyvana's play, kind of baiting in the Aurelia to stay around. And the Fiora gets a solo kill, but now the Fiora is destroying everyone. But the champion is absolutely nuts. Looks like we're coin flipping it. We don't have TP. Okay, both top laners do have TP, actually. Looks like they're trying to interrupt each other. Nautilus goes in. Ziggs' ult hits, but it's too deep. And Ezreal's in the backline untouched. We reposition a Shyvana. We actually kill the Nautilus. We get to use a stopwatch, flash out. The repel goes way too deep. E hits. She's going to get chunked. If another one hits... Someone kill the Elise, please. Okay. Bard finally got her. Nice fight again. Close, though. Really close. These team fights will be really fun to sort of microanalyze, but they're really close. Hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. My camera tool software isn't working still since I reinstalled, so I can't really zoom super far out. Hey, brilliant. Push waves now, ladies and gentlemen. Push waves. Take camps. Get as much gold as you can, because the next fight is the Baron fight. So if you feel unsafe pushing waves, or they're already pushed enough, you know, just take your camps. It's fine. I think the Ezreal deserves the red here. There we go. His team fighting has been mega. Reset. What do we buy? Going into the Blighting Jewel, and we have a pot. Back in the day, these were called pots. Now they're called elixirs, or elixirs. I don't see this purchased enough. Even if you don't have core itemization complete. For example, here you're thinking, wow, Blighting Jewel, this is 500 gold. I want to wait for a Blasting one, so I'm not going to buy anything. Yeah, but you've just swung this game around, and you still don't have the gold lead. You know the next fight is a Baron play, whether you win it or lose it. Get this. It gives you 50 ability power for 3 minutes. More than enough time that with those stats, you will more than make up the investment of the 500 gold. Because if you win it and get the Baron, right? So, that's what we're looking to do. Ezreal does get caught out a little bit. The Nautilus ult hits, Camille ults him. Not enough to kill him. And now Shyvana's just poking down. Look at this damage, this crater of doom. He just keeps spamming, getting in the face. Oh, it's just so, it's over. It's a one-sided fight. We'll watch this again. I know I could have watched the Dragon, but that's it. That's it. That's GG. Like, you win from this fight. You know? They try to go all in the Ezreal, okay? But he has Trinity Force. He didn't even have Shield Bar or anything like that. He's just able to kite out and stay alive. The Bard ult is pretty funny. It's always like 50-50 whether it's good or bad, and they just caught in a really bad position. And the Shyvana's teamfighting has been brilliant. Always focusing on helping the Ezreal first and then turning with him to nuke the rest of the team. And now you just get in the face. I mean, what does she have? Almost 3,000 HP, but she's built full AP. It's brilliant. It's really good. Such a big dragon too. A nice skin. A nice skin, good chromas. Really good fight, and that's the importance. Just because you're the carry doesn't mean you don't have to peel, or if peeling isn't the right idea, you know? Because I understand that the Ezreal's dishing it out now. He's reached the atomization spike, he's dishing it out. So turning to focus on that is more important sometimes than necessarily diving the backline. Always question your role in team fights. Something that Tyler 1 actually does very well. You know, if he has a crucial CC spell for like a Katarina, he will mention it and say it out loud. I'm gonna wait to use it. And that's win condition knowledge, right? Doesn't matter what happens. If you end up 5v5ing and you can team fight better than the enemy team, even in a deficit, or if you have a better scaling comp and you use your CC spells correctly, you're gonna have a lot of one games. Now you don't overpush here and die, but it doesn't matter because now you're just so far ahead. Ezreal is just so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious, man. Shyvana falls back. How much gold do we have? Yeah, we need a bit more. So she's just gonna do that, make sure she gets a void stuff. You see, there's the investment, it pays off. These nukes, what's the stats here? 2,200 extra damage. C'est solide, huh? Good. We can take the Grump because our Ezreal, we didn't watch it because we're focusing on the Shyvana, but he overstayed and died. So what we do now is we can farm, push waves safely, clear vision safely, wait for an ADC to respawn, and then we can regroup. Now, Zed doesn't do that, and he dies. It's a tale of two players. And again, this is like Master Tier EU West. This happens in Challenger. I don't get it. Like, I'm voicing what you should be doing. Most people would, in this elo, understand that. Unless you just got that out of pure mechanics, which some do. Some do. And we got a split push at the Baron here. So they can push up, but we have enough wave clear. And honestly, as Shyvana, Nautilus, hitbox, please. You can wave clear with your E as well in AP form. Oh my god. Okay, just kill him. Just kill him. There we go. This is not a worse trade because the Camille can't touch the Fiora. Her legs are long, but they're not that long. And now you want to stop the backs. Right? You kill the Nautilus, you want to stop the backs here. That's all we're looking to do. Push the wave out. It will give you free soul. Fiora. Man, what a champion. Not the best team fighter, but if you can create these environments with your team, then look at this. Look at this. And we can just keep pushing down mid lane with the Baron. I don't really think we need to be doing the Raptors. We could just be pushing. We do want the Drake, but Zed can snatch that ourselves, himself rather. Unless you're talking about him and his shadows. As you will. Push that. Don't overgreed for it. Again, Ezreal is trying, but we're fine. We are fine. That's close, okay. I thought he might stay. He might actually stay just to get the inhib, but that would be very wrong. Back to base. Needlessly large rod. If you can afford another elixir, please do. She's been anathema's changed. What's the word of that? Anathema's changed. Right? I don't know. Spent way too long reinstalling this, getting back into the game. Hopefully the first part and the second part weren't too disjointed, although I felt like it was a little disjointed overall. Trying my best to analyze as much as I can in these videos, and sometimes I almost get overwhelmed with what I want to say and I can't get it all out. But this is perfect. Get your itemization. You've already got top inhib broken. Just push it down. You have the gold lead now. You've outscaled. And that's it. So, as I said, match histories are in the description below. The key points are If you can get objectives while an enemy jungler is pressuring, do it. When the mid game comes around, don't force fight, just secure your farm, get the split pushes, don't overgreed, wait for that moment. When you reach an atomization spike and they overcommit, you obliterate them. Focus your team fighting very well, target selection is important, and if you do that, Shyvana, Kayn, Karthus, Fiddlesticks, Lilia, any farming scaling jungler, you'll be primed to win. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. Don't forget to head to the main channel for a Best Junglers video coming tomorrow. 100% tier list for you. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. And Bucks in 6.